Good morning everyone. Students, in the previous class we have discussed about the centralization and decentralization. We have understood their meaning, which I am repeating. Centralization means concentrating the power in a few hands, and decentralization means we are delegating the authority, means we are decentralizing the power. We are giving this power to somebody else, right? To the subordinates we are handing over the power. Okay. So we have discussed the features of decentralization, and today we are going to discuss about the relation between delegation and decentralization. Okay. So it seems that this is a similar thing, but still there is a little difference, and what are its relation. So it's explaining decentralization is extension of delegation. Okay, delegation is the smallest one, and we extend this delegation, so that becomes decentralization. So it's telling in delegation we multiply the authority with 2. Okay, whereas decentralization the authority is multiplied by many. Means authority delegation we are handing over to the next one, so 2 people are involved, and in decentralization so many people are involved. So that we will discuss later on how. I'll cite an example also. Well, here you can see, because a systematic delegation takes place at every level will result in evenly distribution of authority and responsibility at every level and result in decentralization. Okay, systematically you are just delegating the thing, so that is decentralization. And if delegation is restricted to certain level only, then there will be no complete decentralization, right? Example, if the directors give the responsibility to a production head to complete the target of 50,000 units per annum, right, and authorizes him to hire the required workers, decide their salary and working conditions, the production head further shares. Students, it's telling here, they have taken one example where the top authorities, top level management, they have given a target to the production head. Okay, production head means who looks after everything in the production department. The target they have given of 50,000 units. All right, so this person is not going to produce now, so he will hand over this responsibility further. So let's see how is it explaining. So this person has the responsibility to authorize him to hire, means this person has a power to hire rest of the people, means you can hire the workers according to your requirement. Okay, to decide their salary and rest of the things, what will be the working conditions. So this production head is going to decide everything. All right, now the production head further shares his responsibility and authority with the production manager, because alone this person can't do everything, na? So he just hand over this responsibility to the production manager to achieve the target and select the workers. Now the production manager share his responsibility, authority and responsibility with the supervisors, who directly deal with the workers and authorize them to select the workers. All right, now the sharing of authority and responsibility between directors and production head, managers and subordinates will result in systematic distribution of authority at every level automatically. Students, so this is working automatically at every level. See, the top level management, they have assigned this work to the production head, then production head has given this work to the production manager, then production manager given to the supervisor, and supervisor, they have further delegated this work. All right, so that way the systematic chain is there, systematic steps are there to delegate the work, right? So this systematically delegating the work or assigning the work is called decentralization. All right, so this is that is way we say systematic delegation leads to decentralization. Fine, in delegation the authority is shared between 2 persons if it is delegation. So this is between 2 people, one has assigned and another one has taken, where this manager and subordinate, whereas in decentralization many people at every level are involved, that is directors, production head, manager and subordinate, right students? So I just tell you in brief, if we talk about the delegation, so delegation is taking place between 2 persons like manager and subordinate. So this is called delegation of the authority. Manager has delegated the authority to the subordinate. But when it is coming systematically from the top level, like the manager, general manager has given to the production head, then production manager, then supervisor and workers. So this is the whole process. Everyone is delegating the authority. So this delegating the authority systematically is termed as decentralization. Fine. So decentralization is what? This is extended version of delegation of authority. All right. Now the next relation, it's telling delegation is necessary in every organization, but decentralization is optional. Okay, students, there is a limit of the people, you know, the limit of their working. So they have to assign the work to another one, right? They have to get the work done from somebody else. So this is must that delegation they have to do. Means they have to delegate the authority to somebody else because they want to get the work done from somebody, right? When you assign the responsibility कि आपको ये काम करना है, तो आपको powers भी देनी है साथ में. Okay, that means you have done the delegation of your powers and authority. Okay, so that is necessary, right? But not necessary that every organization decentralize their rights, you know. Decentralization, maybe the top authority is keeping most of the power and the important things in their own hand. Okay, so decentralization is not necessary, but delegation is necessary. So I'm reading it for you. Let's see how. Delegation is an essential part of every organization. No organization can work without using the concept of delegation, as there is no individual who can do all the work himself only. Okay, now delegation is a tool to get the work done get the work done efficiently and effectively through them, whereas decentralization is required when an organization grows and expands and only top level can't manage it, right students? When you have an extended form and it's working on the large level, and it's difficult for the top level management to handle everything themselves, then they have to decentralize this, you know. Especially in the present era, due to liberalization and globalization, fast decision is needed and quick decisions can be taken through decentralization only, as it provides greater flexibility and freedom of action. But still, many organizations are working with little or no decentralization, right students? So it's a matter of choice and preference of top level management and not compulsory. I'm talking about decentralization. It's a matter of your choice, okay, and the circumstances. It's not compulsory at all. Fine. So here we have discussed about the relationship between delegation and decentralization. So 2 points were there that we have done. Now we will talk about the importance of decentralization. Well, importance of decentralization we have already discussed while doing all these points. That's very easy topic. So let's see the first one. Develop initiative among subordinates, passing the authority at middle and lower level. All right, develop initiative among subordinates. When you assign some power and you tell them to do some work for the management, so they feel motivated, and you are passing the authority also. So it shows the trust and faith of top level in their subordinates, and this trust and faith motivate the employees working at different level, as they are allowed to take decisions without seeking the approval of supervisor, right students? So it's telling develop initiative among the subordinates. When you have assigned some work, you are free to decide this, you are free to do yourself, you are free, all the decisions you are taking. So you are motivated, and you are taking the initiatives, you are free to decide the thing. That means you are taking initiative and you build the confidence in yourself, right? So this is one of the importance of this decentralization. You are motivated, you are taking initiative, you are learning the work. Fine. Next we have next importance, develop managerial talent in future. It's related to this point only, students. When you are deciding the thing yourself due to your motivational power, you are deciding the thing, you are taking initiative, and you are more having the innovative ideas, right? And you are polishing your managerial skills also. Although you are not the manager, but you are doing the work of the manager. This point we have already discussed once. कि the top level management, they have assigned the work to you, right? That means you are doing the work of their level, right? You are doing their work at your level. Fine. So you are learning the management. So this develops managerial talent for future, and in future whenever this requires or the question comes of the promotion and other things, so you are promoted very soon, so you get the benefit of this. So I'm reading it. In the decentralization, managers working at lower and middle level also learn the art of making decisions. They get the experience of performing process, prepares the managers working at lower and middle level to perform the task of top level, right students? They are preparing them for, for the future work, for the managerial task, for the top level work. They are working at the lower level and middle level, but they are getting prepared for the top level management's work. Fine. So whenever there is a so whenever there is vacant job position at top level management, the managers working at lower or middle level can be promoted. This is how it levels talent for future, right students? Now third point is your quick decision making, as we have discussed. When the things are centralized, so this person who is holding all the power, this person has to decide everything. The power is in one hand. Okay, so it delays the decision because quite possible this person is quite busy. Okay, now he has decentralized the power at the different places. Now if one has to decide at this level, so he don't have to ask in the center, because he is having himself power to decide. Okay, so quick decisions can be taken. So it's telling that in the decentralization process, decision making is not restricted in few hands only, but decision making power is entrusted to all the managers who are taking actions to performing the activities. This leads to faster decision because employees who have to perform the activities are allowed to take decision also, right student? That's the same story which I have told you. Okay, so as they have decentralized the powers, so these people who got the power from the center, they are free to decide and easy decisions can be taken by them. Next we have reflect to top level management. I'm sorry, this is relief to top level management. See, top level management, why the top level management is decentralizing the work, why is it doing the delegation of authority? Because it's overburdened, it's having all kind of work. So it does what? Some routine kind of work, routine nature job it is assigning to other people. It's having the core activities with it, with itself. Fine. So as he has assigned this job to somebody else, so it has a relief and it has a power to perform other important activity. That is what he's telling. In the process of decentralization, top level managers are not overburdened with the responsibilities and authority, as they systematically pass the authority and responsibilities at different levels, and they become free to concentrate on core and important issue, right students? Now next we have facilitates growth. Facilitates growth is like if you want to grow, your business wants to grow, you are short of time, so you have divided this work among your subordinates, you have decentralized the things, now you have a time, right? So you can focus on the core activities as we have discussed in the previous point also, and certain other thing is also there. Let's see. Decentralization grants more autonomy or freedom to lower level. This helps the subordinates to do work in the manner best suited for their department. When each department is doing their best, then productivity increases and it will generate more revenue, which can be used for expansion. Well, they have taken the different kind of example. Facilitates growth because decentralization, like they have given authority to the subordinates and they are doing the work according to themselves, which they find most suitable for the concern, right? Like free to decide, and motivational power is there, innovative skills are there, so they are just utilizing the power in the positive direction and giving the better performance and giving better results. Okay, so overall efficiency of the firm increases, overall profits of the firm increases, so this is giving the positive results to the firm. And when each department is doing best productivity, so overall your firm is growing, right? So this facilitates growth. What? That is decentralization. All right. Next we have better control. Well, better control. In decentralization, employees working at different level take their own decisions and they are personally accountable for their decision. As we know that we have assigned this work to this particular department, so this department, the different people, they are doing their job and they will be responsible for this, right? They can't say ki this work is done by somebody else. They know that who has done this work, right? So easily we can decide the responsibilities of the person. They are personally accountable for their decisions. They can't pass the blame to their superiors. Okay, as we have assigned the work, so they can't blame the superiors that was their fault. No, the work is done by them, so that's their fault. Easily we can decide the accountability of a person. With decentralization, better control can be exercised through a scorecard, management information system, etc. they have prepared, and easily we can hold the person responsible for their do's and don'ts. All right. So here we have completed all the importance of the decentralization, right? Well, students, everything has some pros and cons. We can't say that decentralization is only having benefits. It has certain drawbacks also. But let's see the conclusion, how they are concluding this decentralization. As a conclusion, it must be noted that in spite of its benefit, decentralization should be applied with caution and care, as it can lead to disintegration of organization. As I've told you, some pros and cons are there. Although it's good, it's providing so many benefits of that, but still we have to be very careful while applying this, because sometimes this leads this creates certain problem in the organization. So it's telling, if departments start operating on their own guidelines which may be contrary to the interest of the organization. Okay, so this is telling as we have decentralized the duties to rest of the people in the rest of the departments, and these small departments, they have started choosing their own policies, and they have started framing their own rule regulations. Maybe they are against the organization, maybe that is against the top level management, so that won't be healthy for the firm, right? So that way one must be very careful while assigning while assigning the power to others. While decentralizing, one has to be very careful which part of the job must be decentralized and which part of the job they must keep with them. We have already discussed the core activities they must keep in the center, they must keep with them, and the routine kind of work they must decentralize. So it's telling decentralization must be balanced with centralization in area of major policy decisions, right? Where the major policy decisions you have to take, these kind of area. So let's start this differences between delegation and decentralization. Let's complete it today only. Well, the first point of difference is scope or parties involved. In delegation, we have studied that only 2 parties are involved, right? And in decentralization, more than 2 parties. I mean, the many people they have involved. Here we delegate to the next one, and here this is in between many people. We have discussed in detail while discussing the points. Next one is significant status. Delegation is important function, but it is the routine function, right? Routine in nature, because you have to get the work done from your subordinates, so it's a routine kind of work. Compulsorily you have to delegate it. But decentralization is more significant because it is a one-time decision and it's a matter of policy. As we know that the firm makes a policy, we have a policy to decentralize the thing, right? Or another one can say we don't have any kind of policy of the decentralization, we keep everything with the center. So that's a matter of a policy. All right. Now the third one is freedom of action. Who is more free? Here these people are less freedom is there, because when your superior delegates the authority to the subordinate, right? So that is his duty. we have discussed in detail in the chapter. That is the duty of the superior to keep watching the subordinate, either he has completed the target or no, right? So there is no such freedom of action in this case. Here I'm just reading, in the process of delegation, the managers pass the authority and the responsibility to the subordinate, and after that also there is constant and continuous supervision by the managers to keep a check how subordinates are performing their activities, because at last these superiors will be responsible for this. Okay, and here in decentralization there is more freedom, okay, freedom of action, because once the authority is distributed systematically, there will be periodic appraisals and note the continuous supervisions. So daily you don't have to watch on that. Later on, you, when one completes the task, then you supervise the thing, either they have done it or some mistakes are persisting. Okay, next we have scope. This delegation is having the narrow scope, but decentralization is having the vast scope, that's having wide scope. Now responsibility, it's a responsibility of every manager, because they have to delegate the work. There is a limitation of the workers, a limit of the people of doing work, so they have to assign this job. Okay, so responsibility of every manager, and here this is the responsibility of the top level management, because they are having all the power in their hand, and that's their duty to that is decentralized. Okay, next is nature or essential. Delegation is compulsory, we have done just before. Delegation is compulsory, but decentralization is a matter of policy, and it's not compulsory at all, depends upon the top level management, it's optional. Purpose, if we talk, so here the purpose of delegation is to reduce the burden of a manager. We are talking again and again the capacity of one person is limited to do the work, so that's why they have to assign this job to somebody else. And here its purpose is to increase the role of subordinates and giving them more authority, right? You want to get the work done from your superiors, you want to give them some authority, so that kind of things are there. Okay, next is grant of authority. How much authority do you provide to the people? So authority is granted by immediate superior. Who grants the authority? The immediate superior, जिनसे उनको काम मिला है, right? So they will assign this authority, and here it is the authority is provided by the top level management, because they are in the center and they are having all the power. So while decentralizing the thing, the top level assigns this power. Okay, so here we have discussed the differences between delegation and decentralization. Well, finally, the last topic of this chapter is centralization and decentralization, although this is also very simple and we have discussed while doing the topics previously. First one is talking about the meaning. Centralization, it refers to concentration of power or authority at higher level only. Okay, centralization में power कहाँ रहती है? Higher authority के पास है. And decentralization में, this is with the lower level management they have distributed. So it reflects to every distribution of powers and authority at every level of management. Okay, next we have authority at different level. So regarding centralization, top management retains maximum authority. The authority with middle and lower management, lower level management is very low. Fine. Centralization means central के पास power है, so most of the authorities and power is with the topmost authorities, top level management, and a few power is given to the lower level. And here the authority is systematically divided at every level. Okay, here they have divided the authority and power very systematically to the lower level. Fine. Suitable, it is suitable for small scale and small size organizations, as we have discussed. Centralization, where we have to keep the things in the center, where you have a power and you don't require to get it done from others and all. Okay, where the size of your business and the scope is limited, you can follow the centralization policy. But if it is working on the large scale, as we have talked about the liberalization, globalization, then of course you have to take help of this decentralization policy. You have to assign your powers and authority to rest of the team members. Well, next and last one is freedom of action. Here the managers have less freedom of action, because continuously your superiors are keeping watch on you, they are guiding you, they are taking the feedback and all. Okay, so less freedom is here. And here in decentralization, managers have more freedom of action, because they have assigned the duties and power and they are doing at different level. Right, students? So here we have completed this chapter number 5, organizing. So please keep learning all the topics, and I know it very well, most of you are not learning, and I think you didn't start learning, and the test how you are taking, that I know very well. So please students, otherwise you will be in the problem for your final examination. So keep learning all these points properly. Thank you.